even more great news for those of us under the age of 62 when it comes to Social Security. 62, you rule. Over 62, you drool. The average wage index just came out. My man Kenny had emailed this to me. I said, ooh, I did not know that came out. So this is great news, my friends. Huge, huge. So remember, the average wage index, all right, that's what we base your increase in Social Security benefits up until you're the age of 62. Then from 62 on, what do? We use the cost of living adjustments, the COLAs, all right? We're going to go into this a little bit more detail here in just a second. So what happens is when you hit 62, that'll be your first year of eligibility. They're going to look at the AWI from 2 years previous, all right? So in this year, we're looking at 2022. I know it's 2023, but really it's going to be 2024. But don't get too complex on this. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill. Basically, it's 2 years previous. So the average wage index from 2021 went up by 8.89%. The average wage index for 2022 went up by, and I'll share with you in just a second, a certain amount, which is quite a lot bigger than COLAs, as a matter of fact. All right, so that's the people who are under the 62 or younger. That's the benefit increase we get as our average wage index. Once you're above 62, you get the COLAs. All right, just keep that in mind. The COLA last year, I think it was a little bit higher than AWI, but historically the COLA has been quite a bit below AWI. So if you're under the age of 62 and you haven't reached your first year of eligibility, this average, well, I guess you still could reach your first year of eligibility. 62 or under, I probably should say that. If you're 62 or under, the average wage index this year came in at 5.32%. Huge, 5.32%. Last year, the average wage index was 8.89%. So here's a video, and I was about 10 pounds heavier, still had Pop on my lap. And this video is dated December 5th, 2022. All right, so we have, when all these, I can't sound like people, inflation's compounding. No, it's not. I just bought a dozen eggs for like $4.39 at Costco. I think it's a dozen. All right, so if inflation was compounding, well, those eggs should be worth, cost me $8. They don't cost me $8 because inflation isn't compounding. It's just not. Now, do some things compound? Yeah, your property most likely, your property tax for sure. Does the price of stuff you pay for always and everywhere compound? Not necessarily. It just doesn't. However, Social Security does. It never goes down. It always stays zero or goes up. That's compounding. And AWI, other than 2009, I think, has never gone down that I can remember. We can look here in just a second. It's that big of a deal. So it's compounding. Each and every year, it goes up on a trajectory. Your COLA, not your COLA, your inflation in of itself doesn't. It depends on what you buy, man. You buy if you don't buy eggs when they're high and you substitute it with, I don't know, freaking corn, what I just used that for example, then your inflation for eggs didn't go up. Now the eggs are back down to normal price, actually below. Then is that a deflation? It's just all these people. And I'm not saying there isn't things that go up in cost. But we do have this thing in economics called the substitution effect. And the substitution effect just simply says if eggs are too high, I'm going to try something else. It's just common sense. You know how to do that. I know how to do that. So let's take a look at what the new AWI numbers came. And again, this is from I did this video. Great. I should have said for those under 62, not under 60. Anyway, so let's take the new AWI. So we got right here, the national average wage index for 2022 is 63,795, which is 5,000 above, or 3,400 roughly above what it was in 2020. So from 2020 to 2022, the national average wage index went from 60,500 to basically, 64,000 basically? Yeah, pretty close to 64,000. That's about a $4,000 increase in 2 years. All right. All right, so when indexing an individual's earnings for benefit computation purposes, we must first determine the first year of eligibility. For retirement, eligibility is the year that you turn 62. If a person reaches 62 in 2024, for example, then 2024 is your first years of eligibility. We always index an individual's earnings to the average wage level 2 years prior to the first year of eligibility. So we're going to use the first year of eligibility in 2024 essentially, and we're going to use it 2 years prior for our average wage index, which would be 2022, which in this case was 5.32% higher than it was in 2021, which was 8.89% higher than it was in 2020. Now from then on, right here they'll say, thus for a person retiring at age 62 in 2024, we'd index the person's earnings to the AWI for 2022. We'd multiply earnings in a year before 2022 by a ratio of the average wage index right now to get the average wage index for that year and take earnings at 2022 or later at face value. So basically in 2022, in 2023, 2024, and 4 on, we're going to go at, we're just going to get COLAs on your Social Security benefit. That's what's going to happen. All right, so now, you'll see here right now, let's see what so right here. In 20, doesn't give the numbers, does it? Oh man, I had the numbers up there before. But you can see, look, it went from basically 50,000 in 2017 to 64,000 in 2022. Now that's $14,000. I'm not going to be able to compound that because I don't have my financial calculator. But if we go 14 divided by 50. That means the wages have increased by 28% over those, how many years was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. 6 years. And wages increased by more than a quarter over those 6 years. Crazy. Thank you, Trump. I think the only year was 2009 when it went down. Yeah, right there when it went down. Isn't that crazy? Check this out. Yeah, so here's the average wage index. Yeah, 2009 it went down by 1.51. But that was it, man. I don't think we had another decline. You know, we didn't have any other declines. Look at that. Going back to yeah, look at that. So every year the AWI went up except for 2009. That showed you how devastating 2009 was. But again, we've gone up by 2017, 3.5, 3.5, 3 3/4, 3, 9, 5. All right, now let's look at COLAs. And again, COLA is what you're going to get once you're already on Social Security, essentially, over 62 years old. And we'll see the COLA, will give us that right here. Yeah, so we're going to see 3.2 for COLA, whereas the AWI was 5.3. 8.7 for COLA, where the AWI was what? It was 8.89. I can't remember what it was in 2021. But you see the COLAs, and I've done videos on this, and I'm not going to do it here today. The COLA has been about 50 basis points, give or take, lower on average on every single year than the AWI. Not every year, but by and large. So this is huge news, man. All these idiots out there, you're not going to get your Social Security benefit. They're going to take it away. I mean, look, Social Security is a Ponzi scheme, 100%. That doesn't mean, but the difference between a Ponzi scheme run by the federal government versus a Ponzi scheme by Mr. Ponzi or Sam Bankman-Fried or Bernie Madoff is that the federal government can print money. Sam Bankman-Fried and Bernie Madoff, they can't. You see what I'm saying? So this is great. This is great. So again, if you haven't adjusted your look at these guys' nails. I don't know if you can see these. Look at those nails. They call him Velociraptor. Look at those things. Jeez, poppies. Ouchies. Look at those teeth. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, if you haven't updated your Social Security and whatever financial planning software you're using, Right Capital, you need to update your benefit. Just go online, see what it says, and put it in there. Because I guarantee if it's been a couple years, you're way under showing your benefit. I guarantee you are. You got to update that puppy to make sure it looks legit. Just, dude, take the wins when you can. For heaven's sake, man. There's enough negativity out there with whatever they're trying to do in Israel and Hamas and all these, however they're trying to get the war machine revved up to take on Iran. You know, I guess Ukraine is, you know, redhead stepchild finally, which is okay by me, but now we're going to focus on Iran. The whole thing's nuts, man. So don't focus on that. Focus on the good stuff. The good stuff is you have a good life. Enjoy it, because just like that, like a thief in the night, it could be taken away from you. You don't want that. You want to enjoy it. I was talking to a guy the other day. He's like, so you guys moving to South Carolina? He goes, oh man, we just had a grandkid. I don't think so. I think they're in Illinois or something like that, or Ohio. He goes, I guess we got to deal with another year of cold. And he said, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. He's got his grandkids. Remember, grandchildren are God's reward for a life well lived. All right, God bless. We'll see you guys. And we'll be going on live stream tomorrow night on YouTube. So we'll see you then, Saturday night.